Hello! This is just a video for those who are coming to Daffcon. Of the four main factions, that would be down usable to play M.E.R.C.S. Starting with the CCC. The CCC are jack of all trades. They can repair their armour after 2 turns automatically. They are good at range. They have a little bit of short range, but their main speciality is ranged combat. So starting with this one here is the Incinerator. Has a flamethrower, slow moving, heavily armoured and a bit more health than most of the models. This one is the Breacher. Shorter range weapon than most with a carbine. He can actually hit in combat, and he can also blast holes in walls for people to move through. Next to him we have the Medic. Really fast and good at healing people, as a medic usually is. Next, over to the far right, we have the Demo. Good at it on his own or with others. His main speciality is frag grenades, which is a blast template and just blows people up. Here we have the Sniper, which is the powerfulest weapon in the game, but also one of the longest loading weapons in the game. Weak armoured, as most snipers are, but can count as being in cover. Not as fast as other snipers, but it makes up for that for having the cover ability. Here we have the Heavy, which, like the Incinerator, he is heavily armoured and is slow, but can deal a lot of damage with his minigun, which can hit a lot of targets, and because its template can hit friendlies, which is a downside, but it is a large template, so chances are you'll hit a lot of foes with it. And in the middle we have the Leader. Good at leading people and has EMP grenades, which can make their armour failure a bit higher, and he can also negate 1 hit per game, which can be really useful. Plus he's a leader, which means he can give bonuses to other members who are close by. So moving on to this faction, M.E.R.C.S. So M.E.R.C.S are a more keeping cover faction. They've got to move from cover to cover with their active camo, which makes them incredibly hard to hit, especially if you get them in the right place at the right time. So starting with this one here, which is the Sniper. All very quick to activate. Her initial ammunition isn't that powerful as other snipers. However, the alternative ammunition she's got can pull models apart. It's kind of like 2 north or 2 south magnets pushing against each other, which can be very powerful. Next to her, at the far right, is the Monkey Wrench. Monkey Wrench, pretty good armour, pretty good weapon, and has repair kits which automatically repairs your armour, which for this faction is a pretty good idea. Next, right here, we have the Demo. Now the Demo's grenades isn't a blast like most other grenade demos. His grenades actually have to hit people. However, they always do damage regardless of anyone's armour type. Plus he has a semi-auto, which is always good. Over here we have the Assassin. One of the powerfulest melee specialists in the game. His only ranged weapon is a pistol, but he is very quick. He is very lethal, especially when hitting people from behind. he can hurt anyone, including the heaviest armoured character in the game, the Behemoth. Up here we have the Heavy. Now he's got weaker armour than most heavies. Most heavies have armour 3 or 4. His armour is only 2. However, he can't be hit in the back, and he can work on his own or with others. Also, he can shoot 2 small templates worth of damage because he's got 2 giant oozes effectively, or he can put them together to do a lot of shots. Over here on the far left we have the Shock Trooper. Her main objective is moving around very quickly and deactivate people's armour, and at a chance pushing people off cliffs and whatnot. Does make her a bit one of a glass cannon, but it can make that one model that's giving you problems no longer a problem. Because if their arm's deactivated, most of them can't move, and really they are a weak target. And finally, the Leader. Now the Leader has a sword which is good in melee. He has a semi-auto which is good at range. He's good at pretty much everything. He's also good at leading people, which also gives a bonus when they're near him. So moving on to if I just tilt the camera up a little bit, I'll just move it along. Just turn it around there. Here we have. Here we have the Keizai Waza. Now the Keizai Wazas, all about range. They have a minimal amount of melee, but not really that much at all. Main thing about them is when they get damaged, they have a boost which makes them hit things easier, make them repair their armour easier. Plus, when their armour's failed, their movement penalty isn't as great as others. So, starting with this one over here, far right, the black one, is the Demo. Now, the Demo's main thing is he can chuck people's grenades back a card length away if they are thrown within 1 card length. Plus he can also throw acid grenades, which aren't very strong, but they automatically decrease your opponent's armour by 1, which is very powerful. It's a very powerful model. This pink one is the Sniper. Now the Sniper's main thing is she can shoot through 1 tier of cover even if she can't see the target, which means it makes the target harder to hit, but at least she can have a go. And she has a small percentage of getting a headshot on them. Plus she's very quick, but she's weakly armoured because she's a sniper. Next over here we have the Heavy. Good in Overwatch, very armoured, slow moving like most other heavies. The Keizai Waza Heavy has 2 firing modes, one which has slightly better accuracy and one which has a template. Over here on the far left, I'll just move her along, the white one is the Spy. The Spy has a sword and no ranged weapons, but she can break people's armour pretty well, pretty easily with an optic tool. She's pretty quick and she can move into melee and hit people that's pretty much her main job. She's weakly armoured, however. So, over here we have the Forward Observer. Now, the Forward Observer can decrease your opponent's cover if they're in cover. He has a semi-auto pistol which fires a few shots, and his armour's 2, which is quite good. He also gets to fire off the nuke. Yeah, I forgot to mention these can fire a nuke. However, you need this one, and this one. So, onto this one, which is the Pathfinder. Now, the Pathfinder has a one-shot rifle, which is only strength 1, but has a high chance of reducing your opponent's armour when they get hit. He also is used to target people when you want to fire the nuke. So finally, the Dynamo, which is effectively the leader, carries the nuke. He just needs to be alive so the nuke can be fired. Before I tell you how the nuke is, the Dynamo can effectively choose who activates first, him and maybe someone else. He's also a leader, so anyone near him is always pretty well supported. Now, how the nuke works, it's a big template which does damage and then has a toxic effect which lasts. It's got a short radius over 2 turns, which is pretty powerful. So finally, the last faction. If I just move the camera back, just zoom in again. And just, there we go. Stay. So here we have the U.S.C.R. Now, the U.S.C.R. is a faction that works well when sticking together. Strength 1 weapons don't bother them unless their armour's broke, because none of them's got armour 1. They are good when suppressing enemies. Their arm failures, not bad. So, going through them, starting with the far right, is the Booster. Now, the Booster's main thing is he can land on grenades and absorb all the damage instead of any friendlies taking damage. He also got a rifle which only has 1 shot, but he can move a bit better than the rest with it. He can also add adrenaline to himself and others if they're close enough, which gives a boost for 2 turns. Next to him is the Medic. The Medic has an increased accuracy and has medkits, which means he can heal people. Over here is the Sniper. Now, the Sniper is the weakest sniper weapon in the game, only strength 1. However, if it hits, he can anchor them, which means their movement is reduced to 1. Which means for some, like snipers and whatnot, can be a real problem if they want to move. He also can negate 1 hit per game and can auto hit once per game. Over here on the far left we have the Monkey Wrench. Same as the Kenvar Monkey Wrench, his main thing is he can repair people's armour, and if he hits someone he gets a little bit more movement. Over here we have the Gunner. The Gunner's thing, like most gunners in this game, is he has a shotgun. His shotgun is a bit of a template, and he can move and shoot with it. He doesn't need to load it every 2 turns, and he can snap to cover twice. Over here we have the Commissar, which is the leader. Now he has high ice grenades which stop people moving for 2 turns. He has to fire them from his gun, which has slightly more range than most other people that fire or throw grenades. He also has heavier armour, armour 3 rather than armour 2 like most leaders. And being a leader, he can also grant bonuses to people near him. Finally, we have the Behemoth. Not only does he have a giant hammer, which is a strong weapon in its own right, not only does he have shoulder-mounted cannons, which is a big template minigun's worth of damage, but he is armour 4. He is the only armour 4 model in the game. However, his repair is horrible, as is his movement. So, that's it for the 4 factions. There are other factions, but these are the main 4 that will be on show for people to use at Daffcon. Unless things change, it'll be the first edition cards, not the 2nd edition. I won't be using the 1.9 cards. Yeah. You've got a choice of 7 models from each faction. And that's about it. Goodbye for now.